We all are clingy, anxious, uncomfortable, just not living in peace. You are burning yourself to the ground. You hate dating. You feel like every man, every woman is shit because you have not mastered detachment. You are also struggling to find potential suitors because you are coming across as just this unattractive, annoying stage 5 clinger. Hi guys, welcome back to E-Erotic the brand. My name is Eden Millman, your favorite dating and sex coach here. Detachment, contrary to popular belief, is not acting cold and cool and like not giving a shit about other people's feelings and not caring and like living life numb. It's actually living life with purpose and just in a more peaceful way that's going to make sure that your relationships have the potential to flourish. Before we get into that big topic, we do really have to figure out, is it love or attachment? This question, especially if you're in a relationship or if you're getting into one or if you're dating, will really help you evaluate your thought process, your feelings, why you attract the people that you do, why you're in these types of relationships. It just kind of gives you a bird's eye view on the perspective. Sometimes I actually have to tell myself, zoom out. Like I've used that word. I've used this hand motion. If you're watching on YouTube, this gesture. Sometimes I just do that to myself and I'm just like, zoom out when I'm having like a freak out or I'm feeling like things are too much or overwhelming, and I get burnt out really quickly. In order for you to detach or to live life in a more peaceful way, you just have to zoom out and look at the bigger picture rather than being like, oh my God, like this is the center of the entire universe. Like this is make it or break it. This is the be all and end all. In order to figure out if this is love or attachment, you have to ask yourself like the hard hitting questions. Okay. You can journal this out. You can do whatever it is you need to do to get to this answer. Keep it private because you will not be truthful to anyone but yourself, hopefully. And even then, sometimes we lie to ourselves just to not hurt ourselves even more. This is a great reflective exercise. We're going to ask ourselves, what do I love about them? And I'm sure you've had this experience where like a friend of yours or like, I don't know, maybe your mother was like, what is it that you love about them? Like what, or they'll ask you themselves, like, what do you love about me? And you find that everything that you can come up with ends up being what they do for you, like what you benefit from in this relationship. And while that is totally normal in a way, like we obviously find partners that, work with us and make us better people ideally, and, help us in certain areas of our lives or create more balance in our lives. It's usually from a perspective of what can you do for me? And that's why, not to bring this up, but like that stupid question, like, what do you bring to the table? It's just like, that's a very problematic way of thinking. Okay. It's like, what can you bring to this relationship? You yourself. Don't ask the other person what they bring. And if you can't see what they bring, then you're not in the right relationship and you're not with the right person. But I digress. Like, I just can't with these like angry loser, bottom barrel type of men and women out here. But whatever, you're just sad little babies in your basement. Is it what they give you, or is it them as a person, a human being? We forget that we're with other human beings, that we're interacting with other human beings, that you are not the only human being on this planet. So for example, instead of being like, oh, I love them because like I don't have to think in the relationship. A lot of girls, they have this narrative, like I don't have to think, I can go on autopilot, like financially I'm going to be like secure for the rest of my life. They give me all the attention and love, and like they really make me feel loved. This is great and they should make you feel loved, but if that is the main reason why you're with them, and if that is the only kind of answer you can come up with, that theme of what they give you, then you're probably attached to them for what they can provide to you that you are lacking. This is a theme in almost all of the episodes I've spoken about when it comes to dating. If it is filling a void, you are not in the right relationship. You should not be dating, okay? Until you can fill those voids for yourself for the most part and take care of yourself, then you can actually date and potentially have a healthy relationship that will withstand the test of time. Otherwise, we end up using other people as crutches and they end up feeling that weight down the line. So if you are attached to somebody, you are putting a lot of weight onto them as well. And that is why a lot of people will run the other way, or your relationships will just inevitably fail. Now, what happens when we use somebody as a crutch is that when the crutch is removed, we can't stand on our own. So this leads me to the second point of, is it love or is it attachment? By figuring out, if they were to leave today, would I be okay? And yeah, okay, my heart will hurt. Oh my God, like I love them. All the memories but if you put that aside and you look at it just bullet point, factually speaking, emotions removed to the best of your abilities, can you financially stand on your own? If yes, great. Can you emotionally stand on your own? Can you be without them? You know, people be like, yeah, obviously, like I was without them before. I can be without them afterwards. But are you going to crumble? Have you put so much onto them? Have you expected so much from them to give to you so that you aren't hurting, that when you leave, you're like literally a mess? You're just nothing. You're a shell of a human being. You have to rebuild yourself up. Or are you going to be okay? Like, are you going to be like, you know what? Like, yeah, okay, I'm going to hurt. I'm going to cry. Oh my God. Like the drums of like, you know, the breakup. But I'm good. Like no harm, no foul. Like I still got money in my bank. I can support myself. I can leave if I need to. You know, I'm in this relationship because I want to, not because I need to. And that is the bottom line of asking yourselves these hard-hitting questions, of really, you know, zooming out, bird's eye view. Hey, if this doesn't work out, will I survive? Like, will I be good? You know, have I been pouring into other areas of my life so that this isn't the only thing that's going for me, so that if it does not work out, I'll be fine? You know, have I looked after myself? It all comes down to, are you pouring into other areas of your life? Or is this the only area that you think is worthy of pouring into? Or is this the only thing you got going for you? A boyfriend, a girlfriend. Which, by the way, if that's the only thing you have going for you, you really have nothing going for you. I said what I said. As a dating coach, I always tell people, if dating is at the forefront of your life, you really have a lot of work to do in other areas of your life. You are not going to have a successful journey in the dating world. You really won't. You're going to be frustrated. And that is why all the people that get mad about men are shit, women are shit, all of these things, why can't I find someone who like loves me or values me, or why are all women are like that? It's because you have put so much importance on that one area of your life that the rest of the areas of your life are relying on this to feel good, to feel fulfilled. You're looking for entertainment, you're looking for love, you're looking for attention, you're looking for, you know, feeling like you belong from this one person. Nobody wants that burden on their shoulders because they themselves have to deal with their own shit. You are not the center of their world. Bullshit concept of like relationships and love, like you should be the center of their world, is very unhealthy. You know, that borderlines on obsession, on reliance, on attachment to an unhealthy level. Now, should you be able to rely on your partner? Of course, but to rely on them for everything and you not having to, you know, do any of the grunt work that life usually calls for to make sure that you're okay? No, that's not what a relationship is about. Another way to tell if it's love or attachment is it fear-based? Yes, fear of losing, you know, potentially the comfort of, you know, financials if you guys are financially tied, or the comfort of, you know, having like constant entertainment emotionally, you know, sexually. A lot of guys actually are like so tired of chasing women. You know, this is like another narrative nowadays where they're angry at women because they just can't get what they want, or like women are like so much more complicated or difficult or whatever, even though there's the other side to that coin, which guys themselves have become more of divas than women are in this day and age, unfortunately. But nonetheless, is it fear-based that you won't find somebody else, that you're going to have to go through this all over again, that you're going to have to find somebody who's going to, you know, put up with your shit, or you're going to have to go from the beginning, or are you just lazy? Like, is it coming from that place? Then it's attachment. It's not love. That means you're settling oftentimes. Is it a control thing? This is, again, like ask yourself in the middle of the night when you're alone, you know, private, do I want what's best for this person? That's love. Attachment is, I don't want to see them with anybody else. Attachment and fear is, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to see them move on. I don't want them to be okay without me. That's not love. And a lot of us can't say with 100% certainty that we're okay with them being with somebody else. We cringe, we sweat, we get angry at the thought. We want to just like, we can't even digest that thought. And we freak out, and oftentimes we stay, or we have this unhealthy, toxic, you know, dynamic where we let them go and then we like keep them on some sort of like invisible leash, and we keep reeling them back in when we need them, or when we want to make sure that they're not moving on. So that is not love. That is attachment. You know, sometimes we live in this fantasy world of their potential. That's attachment. That's, you know, what they can do for me, what they can be for me, what I want in my life. I want to fill this gap, this void. I think that a partner who is going to be great and this and that, and will be, you know, whatever, will give me kids, or whatever the situation might be. That's filling a fantasy void there. That's plugging them in so that you can be like, okay, yes, maybe that's not the reality of it, but like we can work there, or we can mold them, or we can, again, if you're not taking them as they are wholeheartedly, being like, okay, like no one's perfect, but also this is a good person for me, you know, like we balance each other out. I feel safe. I feel at peace. I feel comfortable in a healthy way. I'm not reliant on them to such a high regard that if they were to leave tomorrow, that I would be, like a fish out of water. This is step 1 to mastering detachment. If you know whether or not you are prone to attaching to people versus like actually it being love or it being a healthy relationship where you're growing into that, love area of a relationship. Because when we're able to identify whether or not we are attached to somebody, we can then kind of reverse engineer things and then figure out how to actually detach now while still caring for somebody. I'm coming out with an episode that will kind of be the basics of mastering detachment in a how-to kind of format. Just to remind you guys, detachment, again, is not about not caring. It's about caring about the right things in a grounded, non-reactive way, not coming from fear, and making sure that you go through this sort of like checklist and these questions that you ask yourself to know if you are attaching to somebody in a relationship that's purely attachment based or if it really is love. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching this. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really means a lot to me and helps me out so much. Hit the bell for the notifications on when I post a new episode so that you don't miss it. More on this series to come. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below on this video or on the podcast, which you guys know, rate it 5 large and in charge stars if you enjoyed it. It means the world to me. Make sure you're following the podcast, subscribe to it, download the episodes, whatever, listen to it on repeat, send it to a friend. I appreciate you guys for being here, and I will see you back here very soon. Bye.